Hello. It's been a short while. So if you haven't known, for the past 2 weeks I've been recovering from my chest surgery, and I just want to talk to you about it. I'm going to start off with more of the general stuff so people can learn about it, and then I'm going to talk about my personal experience a little bit later in the video. So, starting off with what is the procedure that I got. I got the NUS procedure, and I'll put some images up on the screen, but it's where they take 1 to 3 metal bars and they put it under your sternum, and it'll correct what has happened to your chest. So the people who get this chest, they have a condition called Pectus excavatum. That's the condition that I had, and it causes a visible hole or dent in the chest. I have some pictures of me up on the screen right now, and I've been planning to get the surgery for a long time. It is not an out-of-the-blue surgery. I've been preparing for a while. I've talked to the surgeon, and if you have a condition like this, I recommend deeply thinking about it because it's a very important surgery, and it's definitely something that you should go over in your mind, whether you really need it or not. After deciding to get the surgery, then in the hospital, they will take you probably early in the morning. They'll put you under anesthesia, and then you'll have a 2 to 4 hour procedure. You'll wake up with a bunch of restrictions. You can't twist your body, you can't raise your hands in the air, you can't really put on shirts for a while. It hurts to cough, it hurts to sneeze. Your doctor will totally go over that with you if you do end up getting the procedure. I'm just going to try to keep it brief here. It is a 6 to 8 week recovery if you want to go back to non-contact sports. Of course, there's a bunch of buffers, whether what you can carry, what you can do, and then you have to get the thumbs up from the doctor to do contact sports again, like football and soccer and basketball. Here I'm going to talk about my personal experience. I am 2 weeks in from the surgery, about 17 days now, and the surgery went very well. I've always had Pectus excavatum. It's just not really until I was about 5 years old when we really started noticing it and talking about it. And the thing about Pectus is it just keeps getting deeper and deeper and deeper, and that's a scary thing. So let's say I'm 16. I'm able to do sports. It's just a visible dent in my chest, and nothing's really that bad. It's just restricting my breathing a little bit, and that's it. But when I'm 40, my ribs will be so deep inside of my chest that it'll cause lung problems, heart problems. I'm gonna have to go to the doctor a lot. And so getting the surgery for me was just saving future myself from the pain and struggle that I would have. April 29th was the day that I got my surgery, and I had to go into the hospital. I had arrived there at 7 a.m., so I had to leave my home at 6 a.m. It's an early procedure, but it happens to all of us. So I got to the hospital, and then all of the surgeons and the anesthesiologist and a bunch of the nurses came in to say hi. They wanted to let me know some very important information. They were very helpful, and then at 8:30 was the actual procedure. So I stepped into the room. They were supposed to give me a mask for the anesthesia. I don't remember anything. If you're worried about being hurt during the surgery, don't even, because I don't remember what happened once I stepped into the room. After the surgery, my procedure ended up being 4.5 hours. But I woke up in the hospital bed, and it felt like a truck just hit my chest. It was so hard to breathe. I couldn't really move anything. I was under very heavy pain medication, so I was so tired. And worst of all, my neighbor. Now, I'm not saying that he's the worst person in the world. I'm pretty sure that he has some very difficult stuff going on for him. But please don't disrespect your nurses. The nurses are very nice, and they were just trying to help you. That aside, I believe on the very first day, in the evening, PT and OT, which is physical and occupational therapy, they came in, and they got me to actually stand up on the very first day. So they sat me up from the bed, they twisted me around, and I stood up from the bed. And that was a very good sign, and that let me know that my recovery was going to go very well. Sleeping on the very first night was god-awful. I could not fall asleep. When I did fall asleep, I would get woken up by the nurses, or my neighbor, or pain. It really sucks to say, but I got woken up many times because I would just feel a sharp pain on my chest. The first night was just very rough. So it's the next morning. It's about like 8 a.m. My mom leaves, so my dad can take her place. My mom drove me to the hospital. She stayed the whole night. And when my mom leaves, she requests a room change. So very fortunately for me, the doctors and the nurses come in and they move my bed to a different room. And I'm actually out of the room with my neighbors. And there was nobody there, but there was another kid who came in a little bit later in the day. And he was a lot more respectful to the nurses, and he was quiet. And I actually had a conversation with him. He was very nice. So it's day 2 and about the middle of the day. I'm still very tired, but occupational therapy comes over again, and they stand me up, and I actually take a few baby steps. I walk around the room, I walk in the hallway, and I'm feeling very good. And when I get back to my room, I sit back in the chair instead of the bed, and I sit there for an hour and a half watching Shrek on the TV. The second night was definitely difficult, but definitely not as difficult as the first night. I woke up to the nurses coming in to check my vitals, and I remember waking up once because my chest hurt. But other than that, the second night wasn't that bad. It's the rise of a brand new day again, and my mother and father switch places again. Physical therapy comes over in the morning, and I get up, I walk around, and then the nurse asks me if I want to do stairs, and I'm feeling up for it, so of course I say yes. And then the nurse takes me to the staircase, and on the very third day, I walk up and down about 10 stairs, which is very good, and I'm very grateful to have done that. And I'm very grateful to have who helped me on my surgery. When I get back to the bed, I'm feeling really great about myself, and it's a really good feeling just knowing that what you have been thinking about for more than half of your life, and knowing that you're gonna get through it, is just a really good feeling. And for the rest of the day, I'm sitting in my bed. Third night was probably the best night I've had in the hospital. I only woke up to the nurses checking my blood pressure, and when I woke up, I wasn't in any pain at all. And then that was the day that they switched me from IV to oral medication, which is another upgrade. So my dad and my grandpa stop in, and my grandpa's just here to say hello. He drove 12 hours up the country to say hello, and I really appreciate him. So my grandpa leaves, he has work to do, but it's me and my dad, and we're just chilling, watching movies and playing games. And physical therapy and occupational therapy come over again, and I do more laps around the hospital, I do more stairs, and I'm just getting this much better. It's going very well. And then it just gets to a point where I feel great, and I want to get out of the hospital and go home. And so on the very next day, this is day 5, I ended up going home in the very morning. I had to wear a pillow on my chest, so the seatbelt didn't really crush my chest, but I drove home, and my grandma's there, also drove 12 hours. She's there to take care of me for a week while my parents are at work. So I get home, I say hello to my family. It was a really good feeling being home again after surgery, and it's pretty much just a downhill battle now. Everything's just gonna keep getting better and better. I'm gonna be able to do more and more things, and I just have school to do. So, starting Tuesday, I start doing tutoring which my school offered. It's a lot of work, but I get a lot of work done in most of my classes. I actually start taking walks on Strava. I walk half a mile on Tuesday, and then a mile, and then a mile and a half, and then that's pretty much all that I have for my personal experience. If you want to say something about your experience with Pectus excavatum, please tell it down in the comments. Or if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I am open to all questions, and I would be more than happy to answer all of them. Thank you all for watching. This is something that is very important to me, and I really appreciate that if you stuck this far in the video. I will see you guys hopefully weekly again. Thank you, everyone. See you next week.
Thumb.